Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday show. I don't know what we're calling it today.
I call it Tuesday Schmooze Day.
Schmooze Day it is. Honestly, that's as good as... That actually probably pretty accurately describes this show. Just like haphazardly threw the name at the wall.
Exactly.
I guess that's stuff.
You know what? That's why I thought, random select or random mashing was actually a really good name.
Yeah.
But everyone got mad at us for random mashing. So
I kind of like that too, but oh well. Everybody said it was butt.
yeah, that's right.
They actually said butt.
But, yes.
So, there was a conversation on Twitter earlier today that was about game design, and I got involved in it, and No Real Tataki got involved in it, and actually on Wake Up SRK, I think they're still talking about this with Mike Z. Basic question that we were talking about was relating to game design of the user interface, but then also of things like overarching mechanics. And that's an interesting topic, but those dudes are already covering it. Thanks, guys. So
They stole your topic. Yeah, exactly.
pretty much.
No, but I mean, it still brings up kind of an interesting point about game design because I was having the same conversation just a while ago on a different viewpoint with Ryan Hunter recently. We were talking about Cross Tekken. And, Ryan Hunter, part of the Cross Tekken Defense Force, right?
Yes.
Along with Tatsu, Jibo, yourself, actually. I don't know if you consider yourself part of that, but
Not really.
I know you're still trying to find a lot of technology for it and such, And we were talking about how to fix the game.
Yeah.
And I know Tatsu kind of came out and said, there's nothing to fix. The game is fine exactly how it is, right? And... I basically said to Tatsu, I'm like, no, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed.
Okay.
And Ryan Hunter kind of started chiming, and he's like, what would, like, people started asking me, what would you change, James, right? Because I was like, I said 90% of the people on the planet, 98% of the people on the planet don't know what's really wrong with the game. And so
I agree with that.
And they asked me, what would I change? I offered my suggestions. Ryan Hunter's like, well, most of the suggestions are bad, that they wouldn't help the game at all.
Yeah.
And my comment that really kind of triggered this conversation was that he said, what was it that he said exactly? I said that the problems with Cross Tekken go far beyond gameplay.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't understand what you mean by that. And my response to him was, the game has no hype. The game is as boring as molasses to watch. It's like horrible to watch. There's nothing fun about watching Cross Tekken. And, we started getting this argument. There's this whole debate right now that there's two attitudes towards something, right? Which is, I would rather have me, because I made the comment like, hey, like, if you don't think there's anything wrong with the game, you and your three friends can enjoy this game for the rest of the time. But
Dang.
it sucks. It sucks for you guys because if this is a good game, more people should appreciate it, right?
Uh-huh.
And he said, I would rather have 3 people who like a good game than 1,000 people playing a mediocre game.
Huh. Okay.
And my response to him was, in this day and age, like, the game needs more hype. You can't design a game only around gameplay anymore. You have to do something to make it enjoyable to watch. And there is this horrible aspect. And I don't even feel like this applies to fighting games. I feel like this applies to video games in general. Like, there is
Competitive
this,
video games? Or
what's that?
Competitive video games or just anything?
all video games. Like,
Okay.
the way that games are designed these days, you have to take into account the lowest denominator, in other words, in a lot of ways. You cannot design a game that's too hard unless you're Super Meat Boy. Like, one of the
kind of a niche thing, you mean?
Yeah, one of the people who worked on God of War told me the story that there was one person whose entire job was to beat the game with only the square button. Like, without doing a combo, just square, 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 square.
That makes me mad.
Yeah, exactly, right? But that had to happen. That was something they had to make sure was accomplishable so that the players out there who mash square, 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 square can beat the game. Right? So that's an example. And then, a lot of games, when you die, you come back with a little more life. You die, you come back with a little more life. But it's like pixels. You can't tell. But if you die like 19 times in a row, you've gained this giant chunk of life to help you beat the next section, right? That's a common gameplay technique today. So, analogous to fighting games, unfortunately to me, I feel like in today's climate, yeah, we want to design games as hardcore as possible, but, you know, even games like Persona, they're doing a lot to cater to people who don't play fighting games.
That's
like
true.
A Super, you know, and stuff like that. And so my complaint about Cross-Tekken really comes down to that I just don't feel like the game is hype.
Uh-huh.
And so Ryan had the response of, well, you can't design a game around like trying to make it hype, because then you can end up with a bad game like X Factor, right? You could end up with X Factor. But I honestly think that there are ways to make a game hype without making it dumb.
Well, yeah, I agree about that. But just as to the idea that you need to design a game, I guess this comes down to, are you making the game for the people who are playing it, or the game for people who are going to watch it?
Right.
Because if you're playing a game, it's nice that things are exciting looking, but that's not really the big deal, right? Like, that's the case for fighting games anyway. And even that's just my opinion. I know that there are people who play games because they like how they look, and certainly that helps. More people like a game if it has graphics that people in general tend to like. Right. And like if a game has an Ultra, for example, I remember when Street Fighter 4 came out, and Ultras were the big new thing.
And everyone hated them.
Well, the established players hated it.
Yeah.
But I guess the fanciness level of them might have convinced some idiots that it was cool looking. I don't know. I don't know. That was the argument in any case. I never really knew if that was true. Like, I've never met anybody who ended up being a fighting game player who goes to a tournament who said, yeah, the first time I thought about playing a fighting game was when I saw an Ultra and it was this long animation and it was cool looking. I've never heard that category. So maybe there are people who just never made it into the fighting community who feel that way.
Right.
Maybe that's the case.
For me, in regards to Ultras, and a lot of people are like, oh, stop talking about Cross-Tekken, let's move on. This conversation is not about Cross-Tekken.
Yeah, this is like an intro into a broader conversation.
Right. We need to talk about how to make a fighting game in today's age, right? Yeah. One of the things that was most telling to me, so I always tell this story, there's two parts to this story, right? The first part to this story is that long time ago, I would talk to one of my friends, Derek Daniels, aka Ami, about how I wanted to create my own fighting game. Yeah. And I would have all this complicated stuff. Like I wanted a character who couldn't block, who only had throws.
Yeah, godlike.
Right? I wanted a character who he had rekkas, and every permutation was a different thing. So you could, like, there was ones that were designed for frame traps, overheads, and all this, like, ridiculousness stuff. So you had to memorize all the stuff. And Derek said to me, he's like, no one is going to buy your game. He's like, no one will play your game. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is going to be like the deepest fighter ever. This is going to be amazing. Everyone will play it. Okay. Today, I totally understand what he's talking about. No one will buy my game. Like, no one will play this game. And this leads into the second half of the story, which is, I still remember one of the things that made me realize that the most was the first bar fights. Yeah. That Gutex threw. Okay. There were so many people there who... This was when Street Fighter was coming back.
Street Fighter 4 had just come out on console.
Right. Yeah. And so all these people were there who really did not know what high-level play was at all. And I remember hearing some people talk on the side. They're like watching some matches. And you could tell this was still a brand new thing to a lot of people, because he was like watching Combo Fiend play. He's like, my God, it's like he knows exactly everything his opponent is going to do. Like, they were just amazed by the stuff. And I remember the last thing was Combo Fiend versus Edma. That was the kicker to the night. Oh, okay. Right? And at one point in time, so Edma was using Ken at the time, and I think Combo Fiend was using Viper at the time, right? Oh, yeah. This was super early on. That's right. And
after I kicked him off of Abel. Yeah. Go on.
Before he went back, right? Yeah. So after the trauma was over, he went back, yeah. So what he did, I remember there was one point where Edma was down by a lot of life. And with Ken, he did uppercut FADC into Shinryuken Ultra, which we all know is like ass for damage.
Yeah, it doesn't do a crap.
Completely useless. And for those of us who knew, it was like uppercut Ultra, and everyone's like, whatever, he's just trying to catch up. Yeah. But everybody there went nuts. Like, you just heard everyone go, oh, because it was a combo into Ultra. Okay. And I was like, this is really interesting. Like, something about that triggered something in my mind. And in some weird way, I started appreciating building a game for audience as well as building a game for players. You know what I mean? And audience not only is just making it fun to watch, but also when they play casually, they always feel like they can win. One of the biggest problems with Cross Tekken is once you're losing, you're done.
Right. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to come back, and it gets impossible to come back at certain life totals with certain amounts of time on the clock. Mm-hmm. Right. And that number of life and number of seconds on the clock is greater than in most games. Yes. Right. The limit for coming back is just a little bit bigger than in most games.
Right.
So fine. There are those two things. I like that. That's one of the things that I like about the game.
Right.
So let me just, that's I guess a way to put this. Mm-hmm. I would, in all cases where there'd be a conflict between designing a game between players and the viewer, mm-hmm. I'm going to go with player.
Right.
Just about every time.
Yes.
Because to me, the most important thing in all this is the players. That's why I'm doing this thing. It's not because I want to cater to viewers. That's nice. I mean, I certainly don't have anything against that. Mm-hmm. That's great. But ultimately, I want people to play.
Yes.
I want more players.
Absolutely.
I don't just want more viewers.
Yeah.
I don't want some, kind of fluff extra watching contingent. I want to have like this base of players. I feel like that's a much better way to have a community.
Right.
And to have competition and high level play and all that stuff. I feel like having more players is the thing. So I would want to make games that cater to that. I get what you're saying, that maybe there's this middle ground where you have to, if you make it look nice enough to the viewers, some viewers will be convinced to play, right? And then, okay, fine. And then maybe that's a big problem that Cross Tekken has had, that it's looked like it's not very hype from a view perspective, and so a lot of people just haven't been convinced to play because it looks to them like it's not a very exciting game.
Right.
Okay, I guess that makes some sense to me, but I don't really think that's the big problem with Cross Tekken, the lack of external hype in viewers. So, okay, I don't know if you recall this, but when we were in New York City, after the Street Fighter 25th anniversary tournament there, we went out to dinner with a bunch of players.
Right.
And one of these players, and all of them top-level Marvel players, Cross Tekken players, Street Fighter players, some name-brand dudes.
Right, yeah, of course.
One of them says, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is the opposite of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is bad to play, but really good to watch. And Cross Tekken is good to play, but really bad to watch.
Right. And
they were all bemoaning this fact that people thought that the game that they really liked just wasn't getting that much interest because of how it looked. So I get that has been a part of it, but I wouldn't want to redesign the game in such a way that I would feel like I'm just catering to the viewers, because then I feel like you do end up with what the earlier stages of Marvel looked like. It looked stupid. It was derpy and ridiculous, and people had X Factor comebacks constantly. It was just not. It was like so. It was so stupid to play that I just stopped playing it and only watched for like a long period of time. And it's only been recently that people have started to like figure out ways to limit the volatility, that I've been like, oh, it's a smart person game too. Okay, let me play again. Like,
Right.
So there's like, but that game was a really big viewer game. And as a result, like, I just didn't think it was that great, because I feel like it prized viewership over gameplay.
Yeah.
I liked Cross Tekken a lot more because I felt like it, even though it obviously has significant gameplay flaws, I felt like gameplay was the prized thing rather than the viewers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously X Factor is like worst case scenario of derpy hype factor.
For sure.
Stuff. I mean, it's like you have, HD combos in King of Fighters for comeback factor and hype, right? I mean, look at that. That game, the hype comes from those HD combos. Because when you're at the last match and this guy has this little life and the other guy has this much, but if this guy with little life has full HD bar and 2 meters, you don't think he can lose. You still have a vested interest in watching because you think he can win, right? So HD meters are there. Ultras are probably about here because Ultras are a little derpier than HD combos, because HD combos actually require like extreme execution, right? So it's like HD combos, ultra meters, and then way up there somewhere that's off the camera right now is X Factor.
Is this like the BS scale from like 0 BS units to
yeah,
infinity?
like derpiness factor,
Okay.
right? But,
Okay.
you know, at the same time, like you said, people have figured out how to get around it, right?
Finally, yeah. And not even in all cases. I watched a stream just this weekend from Europe where this poor dude lost to these horrible X Factor comebacks like 2 or 3
Right.
times in a row.
Right.
So it's not like that's gone.
Right.
That won't ever be gone.
It'll never go away, and X Factor is definitely the biggest elephant in the room when it comes to like stupid derpy hype factor comebacks, right? But let's move away from Cross Tekken for a second.
Okay.
I want to bring up another game that
Okay.
I feel like has a lot of trouble because I actually was talking to Eris about this.
Okay.
He mentioned he's like, man, Tekken Tag 2 is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Go out there and buy it. And I don't want to talk bad about Tekken because I honestly have never given it a fair shot, so I don't understand the game.
Okay.
But I'm just going to say this right now. Every Evo that Tekken has existed, Tekken is my struggle to stay awake moment. I'm not even joking. Okay? It's so hard for me to watch because I don't know what's going on in that game, right? And I don't understand the game. And the first time I ever like saw Tekken and was like, "Ooh, this is kind of cool,"
Yeah.
was Tekken Tag 2 when they had the crazy switch combos because I was like, they're finally putting something hype in the game that
Yeah.
can actually help casual interest. Now, you know, I'm not the only one that has it. There's so many people I've talked to that say I cannot watch Tekken. Like Tekken at Evo is dinner time. I've had so
Dinner
many
time.
people tell me that at Evo, and this is just like I'm putting myself out there so everyone can get mad at me.
I'm sure that's
for
happening
saying-
right now.
Yeah, I can see it right now.
Yeah.
There are so many people mad at me right now.
I'm sure.
But you know, the problem with it is, I mean, you look at Tekken, and the people who are really good at Tekken are the people playing Tekken. Tekken does not spread. Its fan base doesn't really grow that much.
Well, I really don't think that you can say that. The last big Tekken game, well, the last Tekken game to come out was Tekken 6, which came out before this whole reinvigoration of the
Right,
fighting
right.
game community. I'd be really sad if Tekken Tag 2 didn't end up doing well because people viewed it as not being a fun game to watch. There's not a ton of explosions. There aren't like these canned cinematics.
Right.
It's just gameplay, which is awesome. And it was always one of the mainstays of the North American fighting game scene because it's just good gameplay.
Yeah.
It's awesome to play. I don't want to pretend like I'm great at the game, but I played 5 for a while.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I played Jack. Yes.
Of course, that makes
That
sense.
robot,
Yeah, all right, yeah.
big robot. Yeah. I'd be so sad if now we're living in a time where a game that thrived back when we were relatively small and we're all just in it for the gameplay, it thrived because of the gameplay. We were all interested in gameplay. If now it doesn't do well because we're in a time where people care about viewership and whether something looks good,
Right.
like that difference in the culture and what would make a game survive, man, that would suck if that really ended up happening. I'm happy to have more viewers, but I think it would really be sad if that has been such a major change that this
Right.
game doesn't succeed because of it.
Right. So one of the things that I will say is like I am playing largely devil's advocate here, right? I know if I wanted to sit down and play Tekken, I would super enjoy it.
Yeah.
Magus Andre has been playing it recently. He's
Yeah.
been really getting into it. Cross Tekken, I've always tried to be like, look, Cross Tekken's not that bad. I've always said there's a fun factor to it to play. I actually understand that whole timeout concept. I love it too. But what I'm saying is in today's climate, and you nailed it right on the head right there when you said it would suck if Tekken doesn't succeed because today it's different. That's the problem, is that it is different. And it hurts me to say that, but at the same time, it's one of those things that you kind of have to accept. You have to design you can't make a game like Double Dragon on the Nintendo or Battletoads on the Nintendo anymore. Like, you can't make games like that because if someone can't beat it, it's not going to be popular. So when they design God of War so that you can square your way through the entire game, guess what? God of War is one of the highest selling games in recent memory, right? And this is just the fact of how it is now. and it's not necessarily good. So I have one of my friends. We are seriously the old men talking about video games. Like, man, video games these days, what's wrong? I didn't need graphics, blah blah. Me and him, we just go in all day. Like, we just like, man, bring back Clue Land from NES. Like nobody knows what the hell that game is, right? Yeah, exactly. So, but the problem is, it's just the games are just it. I'm not happy that the climate has changed, but it's just something that you have to react to. And in my opinion, fighting games have to be designed in a way, because if you have a game that's not necessarily fun to watch, yeah, we care more about people playing, but people aren't going to play something that doesn't look fun to play. And so if you just can't make a game look fun to play, it's just going to die. And I hate that. So I'm an equal opportunist fighting game player. I want every fighting game to succeed. It's not going to happen because survival of the fittest is just going to kill some games because we're oversaturated. I wrote them down one time. There's literally like 16 games right now to play between fighting games like that you can choose from. And so probably half of them are going to go away.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that wants all of them to have an equal chance. And I just know right now the ones that are not fun to watch are going to be the ones that are going to go first. And I think that sucks. Like, I do think that sucks, which is why I want Cross Tekken to have more of a hype factor that doesn't ruin the gameplay, so people will play it and it can have a chance to live.
Well, I hope you don't learn from Cross Tekken that the reason that it failed was that it wasn't hype to watch, because it failed for a ton of different reasons.
Right.
And it's hard to single out one of them.
Right.
I guess that was part of it, but another part was that people didn't think it was that fun to play. They didn't like the rules of the game very much.
Right.
And then there was the whole gems, nonsense. There was the DLC fiasco.
Right.
There was the fact that a couple other big games either came out or got popular at around the same time. All these things going into it, and then the announcement by EVO that it would be teams rather than 1v1.
Right.
All this stuff played a role in it not being a majorly played game.
Right.
I personally, I would tend to view the other things as being a bigger reason for why it wasn't ultimately played.
Well, let me just interject one thing. You remember how we reacted at NCR?
Yeah.
During grand finals, we were trolling the game in the audience.
We were doing that hardcore.
Yeah, and then also the other problem too was that they made the game last because they thought that was the newest game at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just, nothing was happening.
Right.
Everything was timing out and all this other stuff.
I mean, certainly it didn't look that interesting to play as those guys were doing it. But I feel like even that is a distinction. It didn't look that fun to play. That's different to me than saying that it's not good to watch. I feel like Marvel has always been really fun to watch. Marvel 3 has always been really fun to watch.
Uh-huh.
I thought for most of the game's life that it was not good to play. It didn't look fun to play.
Right.
So there's like a difference, right, between thinking that something looks fun to play and thinking that it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I've always liked Marvel to watch. I thought it was retarded as a game, but it was only now, relatively recently, that people make it look like a smart game that I changed my mind on that.
Right, but see, that's the history of every game. Like, there's ass things in the game. CVS2 was Sagat low fierce. Chun-Li was like back fierce, and they just look so broken. But as long as you make the game fun enough to watch, people will still come back to it, and they can eventually... Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Back then, we were hardcore enough... That wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
we were hardcore enough that we could get around that, right?
We just played.
And there wasn't an oversaturation. Today's age, we can get to a point where we can get Cross Tekken looking good again. But we'll never get to that point because no one wants to play the game. Marvel, was kind of asked to play at first because it was just like, this is really retarded, right? There's a lot of Wolverine, let's, Vanilla, let's herp derp, Berserker Slash, you can't stop me. What this is retarded. But it was fun enough that it's lived and gotten to the point where people have been able to figure out a way to outbeat the herp derpiness. And so now the game is surviving. Lots of people are playing it.
Yeah, but I think that it's done that because there are people who have liked playing it the whole time, as opposed to me. There are people who have liked playing it the whole time. Fine. They didn't keep playing, and they didn't make it a smart game because it was fun to watch. That was not really their concern.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, I hope that Man, now you got me worried about Tekken Tag 2. I really hope it doesn't fail because it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
look.
Well, that's the
It's
thing
not
is
flashy.
they do have some flashy stuff in it now, so that's actually really kind of cool. You know, the character swapping combos
Oh, well,
where
yeah.
it's just like one character and then the other guy comes
Sure.
in. So first
Although
time,
Cross Tekken has that. BTW.
yeah. But you just, I don't know, you just see it over and over, and it just.
Well, maybe
Cross
that'll
Tek-
happen with
yeah,
Tag 2.
I know, that's
I
true.
don't know, man. I
That's
hope
true.
it doesn't. I hope that's not a factor.
Right. Well, let me just say one last thing is that a lot of the times I get emails like, I play Street Fighter, I want to learn Marvel. I want to learn Street Fighter. I want to learn Marvel. I want to learn Street Fighter. I want to learn Marvel. I don't get a lot of questions that are like, I want to learn King of Fighters. I want to learn Persona. I want to learn Cross Tekken.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is that because these games, to me, they're fun to watch. They are fun to watch.
I don't think that you can separate. Certainly, King of Fighters is fun to watch, and I think Persona is fun to watch too. So I think that's more about access and like the availability in general terms. You're much more likely to have seen or come in contact with Street Fighter or Marvel than with the other two games.
Yeah, fair enough.
At least in North America.
Yeah, Persona has the problem is that nobody knows what's going on because every character has their own subsystem, and so you really have to understand every character. So that's what kind of makes it hard. King of Fighters is good because you don't have to understand all the character subsystems. That game is just fast paced. So you're right. It is fun to watch. And look what happened at Evo.
It was awesome. It was awesome to watch. Yeah, but also awesome to play.
Yeah, but the fact that it's fun to watch will get more people to play it.
I hope it does. I hope that. I mean, I guess we'll have to see ultimately whether that's the case. Because certainly lots of people promised that they would after watching Evo. We'll see.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna go to break. And when we come back, we'll do the reveal trailer because we started a little late. It was time for 8:30.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we totally forgot to take a break somewhere in the
Yeah, I
middle
know.
of that, so
whatever. Yeah, we're gonna take a break. But before we go on break, because I just remembered right now, I want to tell everybody that the giveaway that we were doing with the Skullgirls hat and the Persona shirt is still happening. We do have 2 winners that we need to draw the names for 2 of the hats. We're gonna send out a new tweet that you guys can retweet. And we will give away the last hat and the shirt. So we will take care of that. Sorry, guys. We keep trying to draw the names and remind everyone that it is still going and we haven't forgotten. But we keep just forgetting to take care of everything. We've been so busy recently. So
yeah. Anyway, we'll see you after the break.
All right.
champ, 2012 Evolution champion.
Wow.
I think NorCal's got this.
Our players in general are better.
Because we're all really good as it is.
I think we shouldn't have any problem. It's not even a question of what we need to do, it's just what can't we do not to win.
We need to worry about all of us because you know what? We're all threats and we will body you guys. This time is our time.
I can't really think of any standout players besides, like Justin Wong, Combo Fiend. Nobody else over there is making me say like, wow, these guys are good.
He's in full control of this match. And Prince advances to the grand finale.
And this guy deserves it too. So he got a tiny little damage, and he's just gonna take out Annie. Annie caught Doom at the same time.
And Fnatic, does he take it on the strength of that? The happy birthday gives him the first game. To kill Storm. He got the first one.
Here we go.
Oh! What a setup from Clockwork, and he takes the game.
Wow.
Oh my God!
How it's like the ultimate amount of pressure right there. Both players just trying to put something together. Finally at the end, Knives clutches it out.
Oh my God, he's gonna do it! Oh my God! Intimidation! Oh! Look at that! Oh my God! Oh, and the stream is just blown up! Oh my God!
X Factor. Oh, and he's gonna go for even a. All right, level 3.
We going to Walmart. You know what I think about Christmas? I like Halloween better.
The incoming character mix up.
That's gonna be it. Here goes Y2J. Y2J is in top 8 tomorrow.
I think SoCal's chances are great.
SoCal has always been the strongest division when it comes to competition. We have such a huge player base, and there's such a huge variety of characters.
It's like people don't give certain players enough credit until I guess they show them in a big stage.
To be honest, I'm not really sure how strong the NorCal players are.
It's basically 8v1. It's the entire SoCal team versus Filipino Chan.
I think that a lot of us look at it like we just need to be champ.
If any other player on their team thinks that they have a chance, they're kind of delusional.
We know that you guys got some hidden weapons up there and you guys might bring some heat, but at the end of the day, it's going to be 2 versus 8, 3 versus 8.
I don't think they're ready for like Wolverine, Nova, She-Hulk. And you don't get that kind of experience. You don't have players like Combo Fiend.
I have a lot of faith in my SoCal guys just because I know that they've been under a lot of pressure, but there's just so much experience. A lot of the guys that are playing for NorCal are newer. I haven't seen them back in 2007, 2006. A lot of the guys on my team have been around for that amount of time. That experience you just can't replicate.
And we have this wonderful picture here, donated to us from Eliver Ling, aka Killer Kai, has created pretty much, I think this picture says it all about SoCal's team right here. So,
Well, literally it does. Those are the people who are playing for SoCal in this tournament.
Right, but you know what? I mean, the thing about it is Killer Kai didn't want to be unfair.
Of course not.
So, he did make a version for NorCal as well.
Well, that's only polite of him.
Right, exactly. So he made this version here for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like that is also quite an accurate depiction of how this is going to go.
All right. So, Killer Kai, he's an equal opportunist here. We'll do it for both teams
He's being accurate and measured and very thoughtful in both cases.
Exactly.
Accurately describing who's going to be playing for Team SoCal in this Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament and who will be playing for Northern California in this Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 AfterShock tournament.
All right. So, guys, we are going to try to get the maker of those pictures, Mr. Killer Kai, on the phone here.
That's right.
And
hopefully he'll be around, and we'll get this set up a little bit sooner than we did last time. Last time we had a little bit of little technical issues in between us and doing what we wanted to do, but I think we've ironed some of that out. So hopefully we'll be able to get this going here. Come on, baby.
Oliver, answer he's probably cracking up at his own picture right now.
He probably is. What? I mean, at which one? The first one? Did he have a funny face on his face or something? Like, why would he crack up? It's just being accurate, just being real.
All right, I'll get to him in a second.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get our other guests here that I wanted to get on the call here.
Okay, well, we'll see if that one works out. Yeah, so those are the two teams for SoCal and for NorCal. We're going to be doing, hopefully a conversation with somebody from the SoCal team.
Yep,
of course, James and I are from Southern California, but we are not one of the players, and I think we now have one of the players
Lauren,
on the line.
a.k.a. Fanatic Riley, are you there right now?
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
Can people hear?
Yeah, please let us know if you can hear him. Hey, speak up, dude.
Hold on, I'm going to move the mic up over here. Can you hear me better now?
I can't hear you better now. Can you get a little bit closer to that thing even?
I'm going to hold it in my hand. How about that?
Actually, let me just raise your volume. Let's see. People, yeah, they say they can hear you, but I'm going to turn you up just a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad we managed to get you on here because you were obviously missing from that trailer.
I was.
You did not get a chance to get interviewed for that trailer, but, obviously we can get your thoughts here live.
So you know who the players are for SoCal, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
And you know who the players are for NorCal? Did you get a chance to see that?
I did.
And what are your preliminary thoughts on this matchup of 8v8, NorCal v SoCal?
I mean, somebody said 8v2, and I thought that was kind of accurate.
Yeah, ignore the other ringing. We're trying to get Eliver on the call as well again. Oh,
hello.
Eliver, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so we've got both Eliver, Killer Kai, and Lauren Fanatic Riley here on stream.
Hey, and let us know, folks, whether you can hear both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 sec. Let me step outside.
Okay, great.
Okay, no
right.
problem. So I really want to get Fanatic's opinion, Eliver. So just so you know where we're at right now, because Fanatic wasn't on there, he would have had some of the most pointed things to say. So, Lauren, this is your opportunity. What do you think of SoCal's chances for this tournament?
I think I feel like all of us have potential to beat Champ. But that's what it boils down to. It just all depends on whether or not Champ can hold us all off or not.
I mean, do you feel like anybody else on Team NorCal is going to be a threat at all?
I mean, look, it's Marvel 3 and everybody's talented. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like NorCal doesn't have talented players. You know what I mean? They have talented people. But overall, I feel like SoCal is so much stronger. It really does just boil down to Filipino Champ versus us. What's the format? Is it round robin?
It's actually going to be 2 out of 3 Waseda sets. So first player is going to play first player, second player is going to play second player, etc., all the way through. And once you win that, you have to win that set twice. And each match that you play against someone is 2 out of 3.
Oh, and by the way, your matchups are randomly determined beforehand.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so there's not going to be any gamesmanship when it comes to trying to match up particular matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, if it's going to be SoCal versus NorCal, I guess that's kind of cool. I don't know why it's 2 out of 3. I mean, I'm going to get down with it regardless. The funny thing is, I didn't make that interview. I'm still on vacation. I've been doing nothing but music lately, so I didn't.
Nice.
I could have gone down there, but I just I just got back from Summer Jam and I said I was going to take a little break, but I'm excited to see it still rolling and to see all the information going on.
Of course.
Like I said, though, I do feel like SoCal is stronger. NorCal is, like I said, there's talent, but it's just not as much talent. I feel like, I think Combo Fiend has the potential to go through all 8. I think Knives will most likely go through all 8. I think Infrit would go through at least one of them. I think I got potential to go through at least a good, 7 or 8. I have potential to go through 8. You know what I mean? I feel like we should win.
Well,
we should all bop them.
Well, let me ask you, Eliver. Obviously, everyone's concern on NorCal is Champ right now. I mean, you made those lovely pictures for us. Thank you very much for those.
Oh, you already showed those?
Yeah, I showed them.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, yeah, I haven't been watching the stream. You guys are going to have to fill me in on anything I've missed.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So the question I have for you, obviously Champ is the biggest concern. Who do you think on Team SoCal has the best chance of defeating Champ?
All right. As a whole, I'd say it's definitely Combo Fiend. He knows Champ the best. And he's also got some of the best, most efficient kills when it comes to snapping a character. So he's probably going to... What he's going to do is he might end up forcing Champ to drop his Phoenix team and have to play him straight up with Dormammu. So, yeah, I think Fnatic also has a really good shot since he's got so much experience at the FGTV house. He's also got the movement of Magneto to be able to match Champ. And with the rest of us, it's like what Fnatic said. I think it's 2 out of 3 and it's Marvel. And I think, well, a lot of us, we all have the potential to essentially beat Champ 2 out of 3 before he gets a chance to adapt. And really the whole game plan for us is everyone does their job, everyone wins their matchups, and when it comes down to it, we force Champ to run a SoCal gauntlet, and I don't think even he's good enough to be able to withstand all that.
Okay, so apart from Champ, you know, we joke about this being just a Filipino Champ team. The reality is that some of those other players are really strong as well.
Yeah.
So okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested in who you think are the next biggest threats when it comes to that team.
Yeah, let's start with Fnatic first on that one.
Wow, the next biggest threat, I'm gonna say. Oh, I need to look at the team again.
Give a list.
Maybe CJ Showstopper.
There's CJ Showstopper. There's Hanzo Gonzo. There's Patrick. Drew Grimy. Filipino Champ, obviously.
Yeah.
Drew Grimy. He's probably number 2.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen him play much? He's a relatively newer player.
Well, here's the deal. I've played Drew. Actually, look, see, the thing is, it just depends on the matchup. Like, if I have to fight Drew, then yeah, I feel like he has a chance of beating me pretty bad. Because his team is 100% counter to mine. But I feel like everyone else on my team would bop him pretty free. Not that he's not talented. It's just, I think we're more talented. So I think everybody else would bop him. If I was allowed to switch to Team Knives, then I think I'd bop him pretty free too.
Yeah, you can. It's not team lock.
No lock? Oh, yeah. Then, yeah, I'd say he's the second best threat, but I still think he's going to get bopped.
Okay.
That's really interesting to me. That's not who I would have expected.
Yeah, just so the people on the stream are aware, there is no team lock. The main reason for that is because we want this to be as legitimate as possible. We would have done 3 out of 5 if we had the time, but it's just so hard. But so we did 2 out of 3 and then 2 out of 3 sets, and there's no character lock, so you can always give it your all to win. So that's like something really important that we wanted to do. But,
yeah, and I think that gives Champ the best chance, because if we lock him into Phoenix or lock him into Dormammu, then it's just unfair.
Right.
And I feel like this gives him, a higher chance of winning.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you, Kai or Oliver? Who are you most, who are you mildly worried about other than Champ?
Okay, well, in my opinion, I'd say the 3 biggest threats after Champ in no particular order are Drew, Patrick, and X-Ray.
Okay.
Yeah, Drew is probably the strongest out of those 3 in my opinion. I got a chance to play him a lot when I was up there training for SBO. He's got a very unique team that's his own creation. He's got Viper, Virgil, Strider, and that team just works so well together that I think that there are a lot of, we don't have anything like that in SoCal. That's one of the few things we don't have, especially with a great Viper Strider player. So I think he's got the potential to take out a few of our guys if he gets some favorable matchups. But other than that, and the Patrick is also a very dangerous player. We've seen what he can do. And he can switch it up from playing solid to just going nuts at any given moment. So
well, he's got that scary team, right? So he's
it's
Virgil.
The team. It's Dante, Virgil, Strider, and I've been saying that's one of the best teams in the game for a long time, and he plays it to damn near perfection. And X-Ray, I think a lot of us. We haven't seen a lot of X-Ray in the last year or so because he was undergoing a character crisis. And I got to see a good amount of him at EVO when he eliminated me. He's got...
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a very good Magneto, and he backs it with Doom missiles. His movement's really solid, and if he gets the first kill, then you've essentially lost the next character, because he's got some really good incoming mix-ups that, like, forcing you into block stun with Ami, and you're essentially forced to block 5 different mix-ups with Magneto.
Yeah,
so
that's so ridiculous. Hey, I was gonna ask really quick: is Crisis on that team?
No, he's not. So, just to let you know how they selected the team, people in NorCal were the ones who selected the team.
Mhm.
We didn't pick it.
Right.
And
People in NorCal as in the players, or like their representatives?
Kind of both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in Crisis, actually, last time he showed up to FGTV House, he was saying he hasn't played in forever.
Right.
So he says he's rusty. And I think the NorCal players knew that, so that's why they didn't put him on the team. So, but I did want to ask both of you actually this question again. We'll start with Fnatic as well. Obviously, you've both hinted at this. You've both been to FGTV House before, and you both played in a fraud-free Friday. Like, what do you get out of that experience when you played up them? I mean, did they surprise you? Were they a lot stronger than you guys thought? Or, were you just like, I mean, because recently, like, Jint went up to a tournament and, like, took first place, right? He beat K-Beast in the grand finals. Everyone says K-Beast was, like, sandbagging or whatever like that. But regardless, I mean, obviously, we've gone up there and done well. I mean, what did you guys learn from Fighting Game TV? FGTV House.
They're talented. Like, the thing is, they play something that we don't have an abundance of. We don't have an abundance of Virgil. And pretty much everybody in NorCal plays Virgil. So I had to fight an abundance of Virgils, an abundance of Striders, and I didn't have a lot of Strider experience as well. So I think that's the most important thing right there, is that they play something different. I've noticed in every region of Marvel, there's always something like for example in Texas, then it's very Zero heavy, right? It's everywhere. But then in NorCal, it's really Virgil heavy. Like, that's everywhere. And then in different, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like that region, that's what I had to learn, is that they had a Virgil I would have to play against. I had to learn that matchup. And that's the only thing I'd be concerned about, is people from SoCal not knowing the matchup. But I feel like they've all done a lot more to expose themselves than I have, so they should be ready.
Okay. Well, what about you, Oliver? How was your experience at FGTV?
Well, I went to Fraud Free Fridays that 1 week, and they were about as strong as I expected. I mean, you had some great players there, some good talent. I mean, they weren't overwhelmingly powerful or anything. I got to play GC Yoshi, got to play Patrick, got to play Eduardo. And I actually did pretty well. I was actually, like, my goal when I went to Fraud Free Fridays and the FGTV House wasn't to exactly go there and just try to beat everyone. I went there to practice. I left my ego at the door, and, like, I was willing to just show up and learn, and take every loss, like, as a learning experience. So and when I was up there, they showed me a lot of stuff from, namely the Virgil Strider duo, and as to how stupid can really be. But it was definitely a very enlightening experience, and that's something that the Virgil Strider shell is something we really lack out here in SoCal. Well, high quality ones.
All right, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, if you guys can stick around, we'd like to talk a little bit more. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, great.
Cool. We'll be right back, everybody. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, let me go back to that. Okay, there you go. Buddy, all right, welcome back everybody to UltraChen TV. We are talking about the AfterShock SoCal team. With us, we have on our Oliver, aka Killer Kai, and Lauren, aka Fnatic. How's it going, guys?
Doing great.
All right, so actually, we want to talk to you about some of the other SoCal players and just in general, how you feel about having them on the team as well.
Yeah, like some of their strengths and weaknesses. First off, just who they play. I mean, just to introduce for people who might not know them, who they play and what you think some of their strengths and weaknesses are. So we're gonna start off, I guess, with Combo Fiend. Why not?
Yeah, go first, Fnatic.
Yeah.
Combo Fiend, strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. Well, just like, how do you feel having him on the team?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he's an amazing person to have on the team. I think, he has some of the most talented, and I think he's one of the people that does the best against Filipino champ.
Okay, cool. How about you, Kai?
Well, he would have been my first pick for the team, so yeah, I mean, he never. It's not like he had to prove himself or earn a spot. Like, he's Combo Fiend. You just got to give it to him.
Yeah, long time, one of the best for sure.
Yep.
And then
Clockwork.
Yeah, how about Clockwork? Starting again with Fnatic.
Again, Clockwork, man, he's like that dark horse. I don't know how he gets better because he doesn't even show up most of the time. But then when he does, he just bops people. He's so good, so good. I expect him. He's another person that I could see easily going at least 7-1.
Wow.
At least.
Okay. What about you, Elver?
I think Clock is going to be our X factor, so to speak. He's got a very unique style, and very few people play the way he does. He's like probably a tough to beat Doom right now, and his Strider it's in my opinion one of the best, not the best.
Dude, his Strider's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
it's just
for sure.
the craziest Strider I've ever seen. Anyway, how about we've got Wentinol on the team?
Another really solid player. I like his Magneto anchor. He has a different style Dormammu. But the thing that people don't recognize about Wentinol is his blocking is nasty. So, especially particularly against Magneto. So, he actually has potential to beat Champ as well. Yeah. Champ definitely better run Phoenix against him.
And Oliver?
Okay, Wentinol. At this point, he's probably my main concern on our team because he hasn't been playing as much. But I mean, we're gonna get a couple sessions in with him this week, and I'm probably it's gonna be easy to whip him back into shape. Other than that, when he's on, he's got some best defense. I've seen his Dormammu, probably the most well-rounded Dormammu out there, in my opinion. He's very efficient in mixing up his rushdown as well as his keep away, and yeah, I think he's gonna present a couple matchup problems for us. I mean, for Team NorCal.
Okay, cool. And then we've got Infrit, Fnatic.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
you can pass if you want to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like everybody needs a chance to shine, and sometimes you gotta look out for the little guys.
Okay, Oliver.
Infrared, he's already proven himself. I mean, he can play, he can compete, and he's a major threat. I don't think NorCal is ready for Nova players of that caliber.
Okay, cool. And then we've got Y2J.
Fnatic.
Let me see. Y2J. I don't see. He doesn't travel as much.
Yeah.
I think he'll do well though. I mean, YDJ, he's solid as well. And I expect him to do well. I wouldn't say 7-1, but I still expect him to beat more than he would lose. So he's different though. Like, I mean, he plays Wolverine Spencer, and nobody plays that. So he has, I think that NorCal will get blown up by him.
Okay. I mean, he got top 8 at Evo, right? So.
That he did, and he didn't have a free ride at all. So I respect that.
All right, Oliver.
Jay is going to present a good amount of matchup problems because he's got a very aggressive Wolverine, and he's got ways to just get in at the start of the round. You're going to see a lot of matches won by him within the first 5 seconds. So I'll just put that out there right now.
Okay, cool. And then obviously your Team AGE teammate Knives.
You know what? Here's the deal. Like, I think Knives went 3-2, I believe, with Champ at Revelations. So I mean, he's obviously showing now that he knows how to deal with the matchup, and I've seen them play casual sessions, and he's learning that. So, to be honest, I expect nothing less than 7-1.
Wait, was he the one who sent Champ to losers?
No, Champ didn't go to losers at Revelation.
Oh, okay. Oh, he lost 2-3 basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And Oliver?
Knives has proven that he can beat just about anyone from NorCal, so I think he does have the talent to go at least 7-1.
Okay. And then I'd like Fnatic to talk a little bit about Killer Kai.
Oh, Killer Kai?
Yeah.
I feel like I've said this to him a million times. He knows. I've said it a million times. He has one of the best zeros I've seen. I saw him do I'll never forget it. I'm still stuck on it. The mid-screen lightning loop wall carry. Like, that is psycho to me. That was the most impressive thing ever. Like, it just showed me how solid he is. So I feel like I don't know. I don't see Kai going less than 7-1 either.
Man,
jeez, it's just
not everybody's gonna have a chance to go 7-1.
I know.
Right? And then Oliver, what do you think about Fnatic?
Fnatic, he would have been my second pick after Combo Fiend. Actually, I mean, he's proven he's a winner. He's been able to win at high levels when money's online, and I've told him straight up, whenever we need a win, put a gun to my head and I have to pick someone to get a win with the money online, I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, cool. So I guess I just have one more question that I want to ask you guys. So we have this. So, you know, you were talking about, Lauren, you were talking about how, like, in Texas there's all these zeros, in NorCal it's all these Virgils, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like our variety here in SoCal is going to be, like, a very contributing factor? Because we have characters all over the map here. We play also, like, we have guys like LLND who play Shinko and Chris. So we have Chris practice, you know. We have guys like DJ Divine and Marlon Pye Jr., you know, who play Viper and stuff like that. You know, do you feel like we actually have, do you think that's a huge advantage for us that we have this variety and all these people who play?
Well, absolutely. I think it makes SoCal, I think, stronger as a whole. Whereas, like, you know, there's not as many characters that we just don't have any experience against. Like, for example, one of the people I think that they expect to be like a dark horse on the NorCal team is GC Yoshi,
right,
because he plays Chris. But unfortunately, we have the best Chris, I think, in existence,
yes,
who goes by the name of LLND. So I don't feel like GC Yoshi is going to catch us off guard. In fact, I think we'll be more than prepared. I think GC Yoshi should get bopped because we have that experience. So, yeah, I think, you know, it's strong. You know, I think it makes us stronger as a whole, not just in specific matchups. It just makes us overall strong.
Gotcha. What about you, Elver? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I've always felt that SoCal's strongest point is, well, just the sheer diversity that we have. It's kind of been a selling point that we've had a lot of players. We've always had those 100-man Golfland tournaments from back in the day, and yeah, we brought a lot of talent from a lot of different places, like people who play different styles, people who bring different things to the table, and that has not changed even up till today. So, like, to answer your question, yes, I think it gives us a very strong advantage. I mean, it gives us better recognition of what this entire game is all about, and it keeps us prepared, keeps us on our toes for any major surprises.
Well, that said, do you think that there is any liability when faced with a team in NorCal that has, you know, quite a few more top-tier characters than we're going to bring in SoCal?
In other words, can we take out Virgil?
You know what? I think Virgil is a lot less strong than people are recognizing. I think, you know, he has a lot of holes in his game, and I think, you know, I think you said it before also, that just running the highest tier character doesn't guarantee you a win. Mm-hmm. In fact, I feel like a lot of people take that lazy route, but the people who normally are the most dedicated are the people that play characters that they like, characters that they enjoy, characters that work for them. And so a lot of them, you know, just using Virgil doesn't scare me. I'm afraid of a talented player like Justin using Virgil, because his talent and the combined with the talent of Virgil just creates this this destructive force. But when it's just like I'm a good player and I'm using Virgil, it doesn't make me think, oh man, I should be more terrified. I just think, okay, I just got to beat this guy. It's me versus him, not me versus Virgil. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's it's not just Virgil, right? Like they're going to be bringing Striders and Viper and stuff like that we don't really have as much of.
Well, yeah, that too. Like and I mean that's a threat. And I guess it's something. Being completely honest, like all trash talk aside, like we do have to view this as a threat. Like it's not like it's going to be free. I do think I expect a challenge being complete. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, like no hype involved. I do expect a challenge. I don't think we're all gonna go 7-1. I think it's gonna be, it'll be a lot closer. But then I really do feel like it does boil down to who can beat champ.
Okay.
All right. What about you, Oliver?
Okay. Well, let's see. Sorry, I was kind of busy with something else. What was the question one more time?
That's just. Do you think that it's a liability that NorCal is going to be bringing relative top-tier characters and teams compared to some of what we're going to be bringing in SoCal?
Well, it's kind of like how Fnatic said. I mean, I'm more worried about the player than I am with the character. I mean, when people ask me for advice, I always tell them put more emphasis on mastering the game before mastering the character. And, like, whenever you have a top-tier character involved, I mean, I'm more afraid if that top-tier character is in the hands of an expert player like, say, Justin. So, yeah, but NorCal, they definitely have a lot of talent there when it comes to knowing how to utilize that character, in this case, Virgil Strider. So, I think, this is, I mean, all that said, I think we kind of do have a challenge on our hands. I mean, this is not going to be free by any means. I've been up to NorCal. I've seen what they're capable of, and, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, this is going to be one hell of a fight, and hopefully we can all put on a good show.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Yep, and
definitely.
Just so you guys remember, this is coming up in 11 days. It'll be on September 15th. So not this weekend, but the weekend after that.
Wow, that's... For some reason I thought it was like a month away, but yeah, you're right.
It's coming up very soon.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, and so, as we mentioned, it's going to be 2 out of 3 Waseda set.
Yeah.
And the first round will be random. I mean, they're all going to be random draw. Yeah. So we're probably going to reveal the order soon. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it next week on the show, but we will be revealing the order of the first round. And in fact, we might even be able to draw the second and third round if it comes to that. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll know a week ahead of time.
You'll
got
know
to fight.
Right.
Yeah,
you will know in advance.
Yeah.
And just to let people know, because I'm sure there have been people in the chat who are wondering why. Why we didn't select some of the players, because we did do this for NorCal. People were wondering why we didn't have Crisis on there and mine and so forth.
Well, I mean, I figured we can talk about that, but we don't need to have Fnatic and Oliver here.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't need you. I know you guys are busy. You guys got stuff to do. So
cool.
One quick question. I wanted to know, why wasn't Jay Wong on the team?
Right. Okay. Sure.
So we'll answer that question. So we really kind of wanted to stick to the homegrown players. Yeah, there's a few kind of minor transplants here, and then it just kind of came out. So like PR Rog wasn't allowed on the team because he was a transplant, and then it just seemed kind of like if we put Justin on the team and then we didn't put PR Rog on the team, it would just be kind of wrong, in a way. So. Justin was considered a transplant from East Coast.
I mean, there was definitely some debate on that topic, but we felt like it was best to go with the players who had been playing, pretty much their whole careers in SoCal.
These locations. Yeah.
Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I guess while we're on that topic, Viscant wasn't selected because he hasn't really been doing that well.
Well, he's in a character crisis, honestly. Yeah. Like if he played, we would have had to force him to play as Hager, Phoenix, Wesker team. But he's trying very hard to move away from that team. Right now.
I just realized that makes SoCal team that much stronger.
Yeah, having a Phoenix there for that extra X factor. I mean,
but no, I'm talking about the fact that there's no Rog and no Shady K.
Right.
Yeah. There's no Shady K as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is we have the strongest. Like it makes me feel much more confident.
And then there's no DSX as well.
Right. And
okay.
Well, also a lot of people are asking about Richard Wynn.
Oh right,
yeah. Richard Wynn disappeared for a while. Like he literally disappeared. I mean, we kept joking that we hadn't decided the teams yet. No, we decided the teams a while ago, right? So, and at the time we picked it, Richard Wynn was not around. He just hadn't been showing up to the run back much. And then all of a sudden he came back and is just botting everybody. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, he was playing more cross-Tekken for quite a while.
So I would honestly say right now, I mean, obviously we had to pick alternates. And Richard Wynn and Deus Ex are like number 1 and 2 in no order for our alternates right now. So, yeah, it was, trust me, when they wanted to narrow it down to 8, I was like, 10v10, 10v10, please. Yeah. And they're like, no, let's just do 8v8. And I was like, no.
I mean, that'd be cool 10v10, actually. I mean, they could throw on Chaim Nasty and Tin on their team and bring on Richard and Dios.
Yeah, right. But obviously for the time, it's a little bit hard because we want to make sure we can finish at a decent time. Because if it literally goes to the last game, all 3 sets, we're going to be in for a long night, but it's going to be super exciting. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. All
right, well, thanks for joining us, you two. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us.
All right, cool. And once again, thanks, Eliver, for the awesome pictures that we have here. I'm going to show these again really quick, so here we go.
Thanks, I had fun making them.
Yeah, these are awesome. So.
But why'd you put us on there? Why am I on this thing?
There were actually 3 other characters left, and so I could only Photoshop 1 out, and I still had 2 faces at the cover.
Oh, okay.
So I said, you know what? You guys are organizing this, so there you go.
All right.
Nice. Oh, and I mean, Fnatic, is there any last thing you want to say before you go?
Absolutely. You know, I'm very happy that I'll be going to this event. I'm glad you guys threw it. We had spoken about it very briefly, so I'm pretty excited about that. Of course, I always got to say thanks to shout-outs to my sponsor, PDP, Team AGE, and all the other members of it. I'm very, very happy. I really wanted to quit gaming for a while, and PDP they always make it very hard on me. You know, they do so much, it's hard for me to leave, so I'm just very happy to be with them, and I thank you guys again for throwing this event together. I think it's great to have the rivalry to reignite it. Oh, yeah. And finally, I just wanted to say, Afterglow headsets came out yesterday.
Okay.
You can get them, and you can use the promo code AGE Fnatic and get 15% off. They're out. There's a release. You can order them right now, today. PDP.com.
Fair enough. Good stuff, guys. And what about you, Eliver? Any last thing you want to say?
Well, not much other than thanks a lot, James and David, and I Play Winner for putting this event together and for picking me for it. I mean, it's going to be a great event. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it, and shouts to the stream that's going to be supporting it. So I hope you guys all tune in and prepare yourselves for a really good show.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, I want to remind everyone, please follow I Play Winner because when the stream starts, there's the card there. Let's
just press off.
Let's end this as I continue trying to learn how to use Skype. But yeah, definitely follow them because this will be on September 15th. And don't forget, guys, this does start with the King of Fighters tournament as well. So we'll be playing that first. Hang on a second, let me...
Oh, and just in case you're wondering, if you somehow live in the area and you'd like to come, there are, in fact, going to be spectator spots if you want to come actually watch it in person.
Yeah, I think we've settled on $10 spectator fee there. I mean, the reason for that is because the guys, in the Santa Barbara area, they're doing a lot of stuff to help us out. And, we kind of want to give them something a little bit for helping us get the good venue for this. Because we really wanted this to be on neutral ground. We really want this to be on neutral ground. So this is not in NorCal, not in SoCal. Obviously, it's closer to us, but in any case, it's, it's still good. So
cool.
But yeah, and then just in case you guys did not see, I want to mention that the King of Fighters teams, the NorCal team, is BBZ, Pain, Fixel, Hell Pockets, and El Gallo Negro. And on Team SoCal, we have Warrock, DJ Divine, TDO, Bland Wolf, and CMD Duck.
And just in case you're, again wondering at some of the disinclusions, same exact reasons as before, we wanted to go with the people who were homegrown talents rather than having come from somewhere.
And also, to be honest, the UCI team and NorCal have been kind of talking a lot of trash to each other.
Right, yeah, we haven't really dealt enough with that. We're going to have to blow that up I think, next time or before the tournament starts. But yeah, those two have really been at it for a while, and in a definite rivalry that's already ongoing. They didn't need us to make it.
And the worst thing about it is they never get a chance to play each other, because every time there is a NorCal SoCal thing, we do have Bala, we do have Romance and Reynolds and all those guys on there. And let's be frank. I mean, you put Bala, Reynolds, and Mr. KOF and Romance on the team. That's free.
Yep.
I mean, that's freer than free. So
would not be worth watching.
We have this rivalry, a lot of smack talk going on between these two groups, and as we talked about last week, we talked about the rivalry episode. It's all about that rivalry. So I mean, think about it. Let's say NorCal beats the SoCal team. Then the other SoCal guys are like, no, you can't say you're better than us. Let's go defend our turf. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or if you can't beat the secondary California SoCal team, the amount of trash talk that's going to come out of that is going to be epic. So, so that's why we're doing it this way. So
pretty
it's going
much
to be super exciting. Yep.
All right. So, that's the King of Fighters team. We just went all about the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 team. Again, that is in 11 days, September 15th at UC Santa Barbara. It'll be on. It'll be streamed as well at iPlayWinner, twitch.tv/iPlayWinner.
So definitely
we'll have all those details coming up soon. Thanks a lot for tuning in tonight. We'll be back on Monday, as always, at 8 p.m. Pacific time. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.
Peace.